Can I just say, people, Charles Leclerc might have to start getting used to being number 2 at Ferrari. I know what you're thinking. What are you on about, Pete? Well, guess what, people? Carlos Sainz has won the last 3 races for Ferrari in Formula One. Okay? And don't get me wrong, Charles can breathe a sigh of relief when Carlos Sainz is gone. Okay? I'm pulling your leg a little bit, right? But, Carlos Sainz has been winning races for Ferrari. And I say winning races, vaguely. 3 in 3 years. Hey, listen, that's good. That's good if you ask me. But Lewis Hamilton joining Ferrari in 2025, Charles Leclerc, it's not going to be any easier. Okay. Charles Leclerc is not struggling to be the number 1 driver at Ferrari. However, he's not the number 1 driver at Ferrari. You understand what I'm saying? Carlos Sainz has proved to be a driver that is more than able to hold up his own. And yet this idea that, Charles Leclerc getting this long-term deal, this is the guy, this is their man, this is who they're committing to. Cool. I hear it. Ferrari probably want him to be the number 1 driver. Okay. It makes total perfect sense. But you see, like in this picture right here, Charles Leclerc is pouring the champagne on Carlos Sainz. Why? Because Carlos Sainz has won the race in Australia, as many of you will know. But what I'm saying is that image right there, stick Lewis Hamilton within that Ferrari suit. And I tell you what, people, I think we are going to get a little bit more of this. If the Ferrari car is anything that we think it is, if it's got some integrity about it, if it is quick, if it is good, guys, Lewis Hamilton is here. He will be here, and he will be here to win races. Do not think for 1 second that Lewis has just come here to have a little chill and run into retirement. No. When Lewis gets into that Ferrari, if that Ferrari has anything about it, my goodness, I'm just salivating at the pole positions between Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton. It's going to be brilliant. It's going to be amazing. And I know, listen, here's the narrative though, yeah? Here's where everybody's looking, okay? Here's where everyone's going. I get it. Mercedes stink, and they've been stinking for the last couple of years. Okay, Lewis Hamilton hasn't won a race since when? 2021. It's a disgrace. It's a shocker. Okay, so Lewis Hamilton hasn't been doing great. Neither has Mercedes. But is it more Lewis or is it more Mercedes? Who knows? It's a toss-up, maybe of both. But I think it initiated from the car itself, and Lewis having to grind and probably just is getting weighed down and probably getting fed up. And just before that, by the way, 2020 was a phenomenal year from Lewis Hamilton, right? But 2021, the writing was on the wall. As soon as Max Verstappen started to challenge Lewis, the writing was on the wall for that Mercedes team. And if only they were paying attention and didn't drop the ball and didn't fall asleep when times were high, Mercedes could be still here dominating Formula One, or at least competing. They're not even competing. And I get it. Lewis Hamilton doesn't look like he's going to be here. He doesn't look like he's got it in him. I'm hearing questions like, has he still got it? Is he still got it in him? Is he past his best? Is he finished? What is the matter with people? Okay, he's in a terrible car. Look at his teammate, George Russell. Okay, fine. He got a race win in 2022, but Mercedes haven't won a race since Brazil 2022. Okay, it's been a hot minute, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a hot minute. The Mercedes car is garbage. It's awful this year. It was definitely awful last year, and it was even worse the year before, right? It was bad last year. But even a bad Mercedes still finishing P2, Hamilton held himself up, okay? Hamilton held his own last year, all right? And there's a reason why Ferrari are looking at the situation where that, look, if there's a possibility I can get a Lewis Hamilton, they're going to take it. They're absolutely going to take it. Why wouldn't they take it? It would be crazy to not take a person like Lewis Hamilton on. But the point of the video is this: Charles Leclerc, even if you guys watched that Australian Grand Prix closely, post-race, yes, he was amicable. Yes, he was, happy for Carlos Sainz, everything that he's gone through and everything that he's been through over the past couple of weeks, right? Carlos Sainz, I'm talking about. Charles Leclerc was not happy. Don't be fooled for any second. Charles Leclerc was not happy. Okay, because he missed out on a pole position that I think was there. I think it was there. Okay, I think it was his final run in Q3 that kind of let him down. But that first run, he set the marker down, and it was like, hello, people, Ferrari are here. We are here in Australia. Okay, but then obviously, Max Verstappen gets the pole position, and then Mr. Carlos Sainz, right, P2. But the fact that even at the start of the race, when you watch the race and you see Verstappen going, and then you see Carlos Sainz swinging with Verstappen, right? If you're Charles Leclerc looking at that, thinking, hang on a minute, that should be me. That should be me fighting up there. The guy is not obviously happy. He's not delighted about his situation, okay? He's in a good enough car to challenge. The Red Bull is tough, okay? It's a hard car to challenge this year. And like last year, Red Bulls are going to be flying with it. No doubt about that, okay? But if the opportunity arises where Max Verstappen is not going to be in the race, or Red Bull have a bad day, when you look at the last couple of years, when Red Bull have had a bad day, where is Charles Leclerc? Where is he? Because who am I finding? I'm seeing Carlos Sainz, race win in Australia. Carlos Sainz, race winning in Singapore. Charles Leclerc is there, you know, in the same car. It could have been him. It should have been him. But I have a feeling, and nobody's really mentioned this, okay? Ferrari's last 3 wins are at the hands of Carlos Sainz, okay? Yes, Charles Leclerc still puts in those pole positions every now and again, okay? And he's still very, very, very fast. But being very fast doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be the number 1 driver, does it? Especially if your teammate has got the last 3 wins, has the same race wins as you since they joined the team. That's Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz has the same amount of race wins as Charles Leclerc, okay, since he joined. So it's not all home and dry. It's not all cut and dry over there. And then Lewis comes next year. Listen, Charles Leclerc needs to shape up this year. He needs to really, really dig deep and get some race wins this year, or get a race win, or beat. And, you know, he's either got to annihilate Carlos Sainz, or he's got to get 1, 2, 3 race wins this year, which I don't see happening. I don't see that happening. And then Lewis steps into the fold next year. What do you think this is? 7-time world champion? I mean, the fear that Charles Leclerc must be thinking, must have thought when the news broke out that Lewis Hamilton was going to join Ferrari. You know, I was thinking, oh, I wonder how Charles feels, you know. And Ferrari committed to Charles. Ferrari are saying, listen, you're our guy. Here we go. But then you go and sign Lewis Hamilton? What are you telling me here? Lewis Hamilton is not finished. Not by any stretch. The 8th title, and I feel horrible saying this as a McLaren fan, okay? The 8th title is going to arrive at Ferrari for Lewis Hamilton. It will arrive. Because it's not going to happen this year with Mercedes because they're absolutely awful. They might sort themselves out. They might fix themselves over the course of the year. But I tell you what, the Ferrari car is far better than the Mercedes car. And if you've got Lewis Hamilton in there, woo, we could see something. We could see Charles Leclerc with that second hat on, with that hat that says second place. You guys see it? You guys see it right there. Okay? We'll be pouring it on a certain Lewis Hamilton on the podium. That, people, is a lot. That's a lot to take in. That's a lot to take in. So, Charles Leclerc, I think you got to start looking at your situation now. You got to go dig deep. When it comes to those winter times, you know, you got to go dig deep. Where can I find something where I become the number 1 driver? Because you might have to start getting used to becoming the number 2 driver. Am I out of line, people? Am I crazy for thinking this? If you think Lewis is going to turn up to Ferrari and not do business, I don't know what rock you're living under, but it's a crazy heavy one, okay? Carlos Sainz is no mug, right? And this is not a diss to Charles Leclerc, by the way. But if he does not shape up, at least we can say Charles Leclerc is not going to be a number 1 driver for Ferrari. And that's a problem. That's a problem for Charles Leclerc. And it's a problem for Ferrari because they're committed to him. So let's wait and see. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think Charles Leclerc has to get ready to be, you know, if not, definitely not number 1, but number 1A or number 1B, if it's not number 2 driver? Because I think Charles has got to get ready. Charles has got to get ready to go one-on-one with the great one next year, okay? But before we get to there, he needs to deal with the fish he's got here. He's got fish to fry right now, and he's not been doing that at all. He's not been putting Carlos Sainz to bed. And if he doesn't by the end of the season, and then Lewis steps into town, it's a long, long day for Charles Leclerc. Let me know in the comment section. What do you think about this conversation? Should he start getting used to being number 2? Do you like Formula 1 content like this? Because if you do me a favor, smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new here, okay, a lot of my viewers are not subscribing. What's your problem? Get subscribing, okay, and make sure you're in pole position. Until next time, lights out. Peace.